Good evening, everyone. Okay, first up, the minutes from, it's been a while, but May 18th, minutes of May 18th. Hopefully everyone got them, had a chance to take a look at them. Any questions, comments, corrections?
I do. And I'm sorry that I did not read this until an hour and a half ago, so otherwise I would have sent them in ahead of time. For the Board of Ed report, which is Roman numeral 5, letter A, I'm not sure how to revise it because I didn't have a tape to review to see what I had said, but that first sentence says that I advised that the BOE was in the process of working on the redistricting approval plan, which is due by June 28th. It's the racial imbalance plan, which is due. And I'm going to correct the timing of that when I give my report, but I definitely did not say we were voting on redistricting because... I remember that. Yeah, I would not say that because it's not true. Okay. And that's not something, and more importantly, that's not something I would want captured in minutes because that would be, if anyone looked at this. Okay. All right, so if we just say the Board of Ed was in the process of working on the racial... Imbalance plan. Imbalance plan rather than the redistricting approval plan. Yes. Okay.
Do you need a motion?
No, it's just a correction to, and I think we all recall that that's what we said, so that's just a correction. All right. Go. Again, I apologize for not sending that in ahead of time. Okay. Now, it says which is due by June 28th. And that's where I didn't have a tape, so I don't know what I said. It was being presented on June 28th. We didn't vote on anything. We're voting on it at some point in the next couple of weeks. Was it presented on June 28th? It was presented on June 28th. Okay, well then, why don't we change is due to was presented, is due by to change or will be presented June 28th. June 28th, 2023. 22. So this was before that. Right. Okay. So it will. So will at the time I would have said will be presented. Correct. June 28th. Okay.
You want to say to the state or?
No, it was presented to the Board of Ed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we got two changes. Redistricting approval is changed to racial imbalance, and is due by is replaced with will be presented. Yes. Thank you. We got all that? Yes. Okay, cool. Other than that, any other? And so with that change, the minutes will then be accepted with those two changes. Okay. All right. First up in we have public input. Discuss any emails previously sent as suggested above. There were quite a few emails that were sent. I don't think we are going to make any decisions on any of the three general subjects that I read in the emails were desire for a baseball field at Ludlow Middle School, the desire not to include the amphitheater down in at the beach, Ash Creek, and then there were some questions about the beach stickers. Yeah. You know, who qualifies for the beach stickers? I can tell you very succinctly that the requests for the beach stickers, according to our current rules, they don't qualify. If you have a house in an LLC, you don't qualify. If you rent the property, you don't qualify as a resident. So, you know, that those couple that I read are pretty, you know, simple black and white, unless, of course, at some point we want to consider changing the rules of residency. But if we do want to consider the rules of residency, we have to think about not just the beach, the ramifications of what we're changing as it relates to marina and different things. So With regards to the baseball field behind Ludlow, we are looking at the possibility of putting a baseball field back there, but it will not be a baseball field to be used for competitive purposes for the high school varsity team, because they're not going to put bleachers or press box or anything there. If anything, and we don't have the specs back to see, if we think we can do it. If anything, it will be like a JV freshman and practice field.
Just for the high school, not for any other league
No.
or anything?
It'll be for town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Parks and Rec property. It's
Got
not.
Yeah.
So you would lose the the soccer field there?
I think they're trying to, and we don't have the plans back yet to see what could work, but it's approved now as a multi-facility turfed field. And I've seen turf fields that have, they're used for soccer or different things, but they have brown baseball infield. It's still turf, still the same. So I don't know what is going to come back from the planners,
Okay.
but I don't know if anyone has any thoughts.
The plan is for soccer, baseball, if they can fit a full-size.
Lacrosse.
Personally, and then the soccer field will be multi-purpose for lacrosse, field hockey, rugby, all that stuff.
One question. The Ward baseball field does not have a press box, and it has bleachers that almost nobody uses. So if there was the possibility of competitive play there, giving those up, which of course Kiwanis has, and it's beautiful. It's a proper stadium. It's just an overused one. Well, Ward does not have a stadium. They're lucky that they've got dugouts such as they are. So would that be something that they're amenable to, that if it's a field, it's a field and could be used?
I don't think the plan, anywhere in the plan, what they're working on is for a baseball field to be used for competition purposes, regardless of what we have across town.
Well, just the equity argument is always what's coming up, but I'm just saying that the things they would be giving up at Kiwanis, I wouldn't view as a sacrifice,
right,
since it's not something we have on the other side of town. It just wouldn't be a stadium. But
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
I do have an answer to that. They have put it out and they put it to the school that this is not going to be a baseball field for your varsity to have games on.
Gotcha.
They can practice, so that'll be helpful to them. They don't have to go down to the beach every time. But it's not going to be where we stand today. It is not going to be for competition at varsity level, and we don't know if the configuration can even fit in there for JV. And then I don't know what you guys think about the amphitheater down at the beach in Ash Creek.
I've seen a bunch of discussion around it, but somebody mentioned that it was going to be similar to almost like the one that's at Sandcastle Park, which I wouldn't consider that to be an amphitheater at all. It's just like a stage with columns,
If you look at the picture on the site, there's not much to it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But a lot of people are up in arms over it.
Yeah. But what would be like the point of having it?
I agree.
I think that.
I don't even know how to get over there. How do you get over there?
Me neither. I don't know.
Well, you turn in just before the guard.
You make a left turn at the marina.
Yeah.
Instead of going straight.
And you go to the back.
Where the playground is?
Playground in the back.
Yeah, the playground, walking area, and there's a boat launch slip back there and a few slips. But I don't know who suggested that, where that came from. And I guess I hadn't looked at that plan closely enough until I saw all these complaints. So
We couldn't even put solar panels.
oh my God, remember that? Yeah, they had to throw someone out of the meeting.
Remember? Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that was unpleasant. So I don't know, unless someone really feels strongly about that.
So that didn't come from, like, they did so many surveys asking what's the public interested in town, and obviously pickleball and dog ride, those things came out, but was there some outcry that we're not aware of?
I went to both of the meetings at Ludlow, and then a few of us were at the meeting with just Parks and Rec down at the Pavilion at Penfield. It may have come up because in the Ludlow meetings, the general meetings, we broke into a bunch of different groups.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't join any of the groups, so I kind of floated and tried to listen to the conversations, and it was generally pickleball, softball, baseball. I didn't hear anything about we need a amphitheater down the beach. So.
Does it have anything to do with the area, like that it's overgrown and they want to make it look nicer? Is that part of it?
Don't.
I think it was just a recommendation from the Yale company.
I think so.
Okay. Because I would like to see them redo the playground before building something new.
Yeah.
I think they were doing that. That's part of it, too. Yeah. And there was a bunch of boardwalks back there in the swamp.
So I guess I have a question just about process on this whole thing, period, not this specific complaint. Because I looked at everything. I was kind of meh on it all. I just thought it was like beautification rather than substantial improvements, which is my candid opinion. But I didn't really even know how to channel that opinion through the forums that exist. But I don't know necessarily what's happening next with this.
The master plan is still in the works. I don't think it's going to be due. I don't think they'll have it. Actually, I don't know when it's going to be done, but to my knowledge, it's not done yet. So they're still working on it.
So it's a trial balloon? Is that really what it is? When it comes down to it? Just throwing things out there? And...
I know I read this somewhere. I think Anthony mentioned that, they will, once finalized, the vendor will be presenting in Parks and Rec. This will likely take place at our September meeting.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's all the stuff in the master plan, but I know if they come here with 15 different site plans, there's going to be a lot of conversation.
Okay.
There's going to
And that's going to come down to us having to vote on them?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to process, period, because I don't know what happened. I don't know how this plays out.
I think technically the ultimate decision comes down to us.
But it can't just be us though, because there has to be funding involved.
Yeah, well, if we agree on everything, doesn't mean that we break ground on all these plans tomorrow. Then it kind of goes into the 5 to 10 year plan.
Finance or
But we could certainly, as it's being presented, say, we want a dog park, but we don't need 6. We want this, but we don't need those kind of things. So I think a lot of the molding of the clay that they're going to present is going to come from us.
Yeah, that's helpful.
At least I hope it is.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. All right. The only unfortunate thing is the plans are out there for the public to see. And the public, they all, everyone's just concerned about their pickleball courts or the park in their backyard, and they're looking at it and say, "Ooh, okay, I always wanted this right there," and we may nix that. So that's what we get to hear from the people. So, all right,
Should be fun.
Right, there's another email there about the softball fields. Can we talk about that? Or just because we play.
Oh, the softball fields. Okay.
Yeah, the condition of the softball fields are horrible. We played at Dwight last night. There's sunken infields going from first to second. It's like playing on concrete. I talked to Anthony back in probably May after our meeting about the field, about bets, stones in the outfield. Infield. The fields are horrible. I don't know are we under a contract? We have people who maintain them? You know,
Greenway.
is that
Greenway.
real? I mean, you know, is anyone supervising them? Because, I mean, you know, you see the conditions.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's got to come up through here because especially now that DPW flows up through Parks and Rec, you know, that's all part of Anthony's world.
Yep.
So, you know, we can have that conversation with him.
okay.
Is there a general of you know, bad or lack of conditioning of all of the fields? I assume Dugello is probably the exception to that.
Early on, it wasn't.
I haven't been on doing yellow.
We were on it last week. It was okay.
Okay.
But, you know, at the beginning of the season, the stones, it's like they're dumping rocks, you know, instead of, you know, dragging it properly. I know Vets is bad. I know Owen Fish bad. Dwight's bad.
The letter was about Hayden being bad with rocks.
Yeah.
Hayden
The girls softball field, yeah, I don't know.
is better now. They put some new dirt on Hayden and got rid of the rocks. Part of the problem is the piece of equipment we use to drag the fields doesn't have an actual drag net. It has two old rakes, like literal metal rakes that have been fixed to the back, so it doesn't pick up any of the big rocks. I don't know if they've changed that, but that's part of the issue, in my opinion.
Do we get any complaints of that nature from the Little League fields, from the boys' baseball fields?
They take care of them themselves, the leagues.
Yeah, that's different.
So they're,
But they're not great either.
Okay. I'll talk to him. He's away, but I've been communicating with him this afternoon, so I'll reach out to him. Okay. Anything else before we get into the other agenda items? Okay. First up, Dylan O'Connor on behalf of Brooke Lalamiere. Is that a L-A-L?
Yeah.
Okay, Lalamiere. And the Stratfield Village Association.
Yeah, so Brooke has been here on a number of occasions, maybe 2 or 3, if I recall, to request approval to use Lincoln Park for her shopping strolls. And so she's requesting, and I'm here requesting it on her behalf, to do one on November 19th and also May 5th, 2023. So one fall, one spring, same hours, 11 to 3 at Lincoln Park. You know, she gets together 25 local craft vendors. She gets a food truck. And it's just, you know, an opportunity for people to come out and support some of the local artisans. Another detail. I think that
was this the event? Was there alcohol at this?
No.
This event? Okay.
No. This is the shop and stroll.
Okay. And this is, for all intent and purposes, exactly the same as the others that were approved.
The previous ones, yes.
And we're not going to have any issue with the carnival people up the road coming to us about the dates, or was that the other event as well?
That was the other one, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's not go there, Brian.
All right. Any questions?
Happy to make the motion to approve.
Okay.
Shop and stroll.
Second.
All right. Any further conversation, discussion from the commission? Anything from the public? Okay, back to the commission. All in favor? And
I'm
one
gonna
abstain.
abstain, yeah.
Okay. So you got that? Everyone approved. Dylan abstained. And is Chris on? Chris, are you on?
No, only JP is on.
All right. Give me 1 second. I did tell Chris Robert and let him know if we needed him.
Yeah, I think so.
Clearly did not look at the weather.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No umbrella.
All right.
Damn, man.
Next up, Riney, Nor. Okay. On behalf of the Fairfield Cares, we'd like to place 1,500 mini purple flags in the ground on Sherman Green to represent the 1,500 Connecticut residents who passed from overdose. And so this is an event that's already approved.
Right.
You just want to add to it. So if you would, just for the record, restate your name and address, and then present.
Okay. Ryan Nor, 83 Alberta Street in Fairfield. I'm Vice Chair of the Fairfield Cares Community Coalition. And this is going to be the 5th annual Fairfield International Overdose Awareness Day Vigil, August 31st on the Sherman Green, one of which was online due to COVID, but last year we were back in person as well. And so as a vigil, this is my hope that we can use those flags to create a purple ribbon which represents overdose awareness. And those are these little fake flags that have like this new tiny metal thing, and that are used all over the place to create, signage and to create some visuals, because 1,500 people that could be alive in Connecticut today, and a lot of them young people. And this is just last year. This year looks maybe a little less, but still, these are all these steps. And so this vigil, as you will know, is to raise awareness, to squash stigma, and to keep mourn those we have lost and fight for those that are living. And so that's the act to add this. They would be placed, the day before and removed after. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. We recruit some volunteers to do it, and so it's not just one person safety.
Okay, so hopefully you have enough volunteers, because they have to be placed the day of and come down the day of.
Okay.
Nothing overnight.
Okay.
All right.
And then an alternative I had looked up, which would not nearly be as impactful, get some lawn sage spray paint and spray a ribbon on the ground. That would be the alternative if the stakes would not be so good. But set up today.
All right. I think it's a great idea. Questions?
Is that, what day of the week is that? I'm sorry.
August 31st is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Can we just clarify? I'm assuming it's 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., but I just wanted to be sure.
Yes. Yes. And if you look up, Fairfield Cares is on the town website, fairfieldcity.org/Fairfield Cares, and there's a video of past events that I can forward the commission. A whole recording of last year's vigil, if anybody's interested, to spend an hour watching the vigil. But it's really, and I encourage everybody to come, because I'm sure everybody knows somebody who's been affected.
Have you given any thought to how we could keep these more visible for a longer period of time? Because I think it's powerful and a good reminder to people. I mean, it has to, the rules for Sherman Green are they have to come down, but I'm just spitballing. Have you given any thought to moving the flag somewhere else? Because I just think it's a powerful visual.
Yeah, like where they have the veterans flag.
We'll put it right on where
If
it
they're not
Like
across the veterans flag, there's this tiny
Yeah.
one, you have a dog
Yeah,
flag.
but that's okay.
So you might be able to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the flags are tall, so this
Yeah,
would be,
yeah, that'd be
you're
hard
talking
to
about
see.
the bottom of Crescent
Cross
Bob's.
Bob's, yeah.
Or in front of the schools, the high schools.
Yeah.
That's a different, topic.
Yeah. Absolutely, but that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't approve that.
Right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the use of the 1,500 purple flags on Sherman Green.
All right. Any further questions, comments, discussion? Any discussion from the public? Back to the commission. All in favor? All right. Unanimous. Okay. Congratulations. Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay. Next up, Robert Rossler.
This is
Yeah,
actually
speaking.
All right, Robert, give me 1 second. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I believe that it's going to be Jay Tinney instead of Robert.
Okay. Is this Robert who just answered, or someone else?
Yes, this is Bob Vossler speaking.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So,
Can I talk?
Robert, give me 1 second. So, on behalf of the Rotary Club, Robert Vossler is requesting to hold the second annual Paddle Fest at Jennings Beach, September 10th, with a rain date of September 17th. And this was this is same event that we held.
I'm not recognizing that September 17th date.
It's a rain date.
I'm sorry. All right. So, Robert, if you could first just introduce yourself with your address, and then talk through the request.
Okay. First let me start off by saying this. I want to thank Kelly Brown. She is a wonderful representative of our town government, and I think she acknowledged the importance of what we're doing. I hope you all have heard of Rotary and the things that we are involved in. I've often said that Rotarians are ordinary people who do extraordinary things. But anyhow, and I want to thank you all for this unusual setup. But it came about like this. I had a date to have a surgery that was changed to yesterday. It was a very important surgery. It involved a belly surgery, and I'm sitting here very uncomfortable right now because it was 24 hours ago that it happened. But I called on Jay Tinney. Jay is the founder of this event that we're talking about, the Paddle Fest event, and also he is the chairman of the event. And because of my incapacity, if you will, I've asked him to lead the discussion, and if necessary, I'll chime in whenever possible or whenever necessary. But I will say that with our application, I submitted a paper called the Second Annual Paddle and Kayak Fundraiser, Jennings Beach, September 10th through the 22nd. I trust that you all have copies of that. And basically, it's divided into two sections. The first section is an overview of how the event came into existence and how successful it was last year. And the second part is our plan for this year on the date that we just cited, September 10th. The plan basically is the same as we did last year because there's no sense in changing things that are working. So, if I may, at that point, I'd like to turn this over to Jay Tinney, our president. One other note is that Jay had plans to visit Vermont. And so when you talk to him, he's talking to you from Vermont. But we realize that this is a very unusual setup. But I tried to set it up for July, but through a combination of circumstances, it never proved to be true. A couple of things happened. First thing was Rotary changes its, all the members change over, the officers change over on July 1st. So as a result, there's a scramble for people accustomed to what their new jobs are. Secondly, our insurance comes from Rotary International. And every year I have a spat with them about getting the insurance. And it's a back and forth kind of thing. And there's a few other issues, and so I missed that date. And once again, we set a date for today, and it looked as though we were going to back out, but we couldn't possibly do it because the next time you meet would be after the event takes place. which may not take place if we weren't here tonight. So, that being said, I'd like to introduce you to Jay Tinney. He, as I mentioned, he's our co-founder of this event, very successful event, and chairman of the event. Are you there, Jay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Jay, before you start, can you just spell your last name and also give us your home address?
Sure thing. T-I-N-I, and it's 544 Rollins.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having us and accommodating the event last year. Yeah, I mean, as Bob said, we're planning on doing the exact same thing with the board's approval. We're following all the same safety protocols, which includes Fairfield Police. They have agreed to support the event again this year. Last year they were there with one boat and one jet ski. We also had, last year we had 8 safety boats in the event. Any of the participants needed help during the event. Same schedule. The event consists of a 6-mile race that we call Elite, which is kind of a standard way to describe the longer races and paddle events, and then there's a recreational, more leisurely 3-mile race, and then a children's half-mile race. So that's really it. Pretty straightforward. We'd love Parks and Rec to approve the request, and if there are any questions, happy to discuss.
Jay, a question, just more from curiosity than anything else. You state that you expect to have 150 participants, and there's the 3 categories. What do you anticipate the breakout? How many people are racing, and how many kids do you think there's going to be?
Sure. So last year would be the kind of the guide for that. The bulk of the participants are in the adult 3-mile race. Last year we had 124 or so paddlers, and that was broken down roughly, and these are ballpark numbers. I think we had 60 to maybe 70 in the 3-mile race, 30 in the 6-mile race, and then the balance, 20 to 22 or so children.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
I have a question. Hi, Jay. Do you have an age requirement for the children's race?
Yes, 6 to 13.
Jay, are there any substantial changes from the event last year?
There are really no changes at all. Just some minor things like, the way we're recording finishers. We're getting like bibs to make things a little easier to record the scoring. But really, practically speaking, there are no changes at all.
So you mentioned insurance, and I looked at the special event application. Is there a certificate attached, and is it current?
Yeah, I can answer that. On the insurance certificate of liability, Rotary International required the second paragraph at the bottom of the sheet. Lawyers that we consulted felt as though it wasn't necessary, and we went back and forth on that, and I threw up my hands and said, "Tell me what you want, and I'll do it."
Right.
And that we did. But the insurance covers all the requirements that are required by the town. One other point that I would like to make, if I may, and that is we netted last year about $7,000. And because it was held on 9/11, $3,500 went to Tunnel to Towers, and $3,000 went to Homes for the Brave. That's a local, I guess many people know what it is, but it's a local charity for vets that are down on their luck and need a place to live and some sort of physical or financial support. This year, it's going to be a little different. By the way, I'm chiming in here because I do the administrative part, and Jay's the operations guy. He does where the action is what he does. But anyhow, these are just examples of where we'll be spending money. We spend money on donations to the food donations to the needy. Scholarships, we gave out three $8,000 high school scholarships this year. We also participate and read aloud to children. I mentioned the housing support for vets. We also support numerous local community grants. I think there were 40 of them that were given out this year. I don't have a copy of the list, but I remember the number was 40. We also participate in clothing drives for the needy. International, we're in a lot of things. We're in Uganda. We've done a well project in Uganda. One of the major things that we are involved in is something called Polio Plus. And this actually began in 1986, where Rotary decided to take on the project of eliminating polio from the face of the earth. Today, and we've been participating in this over the years, there's only 3 countries that are polio endemic: Pakistan and Afghanistan. And you can guess what the reasons are. These countries are a mess. Plus the fact they wouldn't let any of our people in to submit the drops that go on the baby's tongue. The other thing that we're deeply involved in many of these countries is Clean Water Project and medical missions.
So as you can tell, Bob is very passionate about the Rotary, and he's also our membership chair. So if anybody wants to join, we'd love to have you. But all right, any other questions?
Yeah, my point with the certificate, just make sure it's up to date and signed, and you get the certificate into Parks and Rec Department before the event.
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it right here.
Okay.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I'll make sure it's signed.
Bob?
I thought I had it signed, but apparently.
Yeah, Bob, we do have it.
Signed.
Dated 7/21/22, but signed by authorized representative.
Okay.
By who?
Yeah.
By who, Jay?
Representative of the insurance company.
No, I think they want our signature someplace. I don't see where it goes, but there's no place for us to sign it.
No, I think your signature on the application is what we're looking for, and it's there. So thank you. We have a question or a comment from the commission.
Oh, no, hey, Bob, it's Bill Llewellyn here. I'm on the commission. Just wanted to let you know.
What was the name again?
Bill Llewellyn.
Bill Llewellyn.
I think I'm familiar with you.
Yeah.
Do they know that you just got back from Uganda?
We talked about it briefly, yes.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Any questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right. Okay, good. Any further comments, questions? Anything for the public? Back to the commission. All those in favor? Okay.
Yes.
Did you get Bill abstained? Everyone else approved. So congratulations. Have a great event.
Hope you're feeling better, Bob.
Excellent. Thank you so
very
much.
Okay. Shigin?
Actually, she's not here, but yeah.
Okay. And Bo Young?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, on behalf of the Chinese American Heritage Association, requesting to hold the American
Chinese Gala Festival on September 10th, 1 to 4 p.m. at the Town Hall Green. So if you would, just identify yourself and give us your address for the record.
Sure, yes. I will manage the going and the thanks to this opportunity to present today. Yeah, basically, Chinese American Heritage Association was established in May 2016 as a 501c3 nonprofit organization and headquartered in Fairfield, right here. So in the last, we have this annual, called Mid-Autumn Festival. Mid-Autumn Festival since the first time we heard September 2016 at the Genius Beach parking lot. And then every year after that, we have annually here 2020 and 2021, which is opportunity we did not have that. And many people inquire ask us when we're going to resume, and that's a board member decided to start this year again. Yeah, by the way, actually, I'm the chairman of the board, and he told me the president of the CAI organization, and John is the outside board member and the communication director. So it's just this is a kind of the fifth annual festival started this year. And besides this event, we also have a annually called Chinese Lunar New Year Festival, which typically occurred in another middle school in the last few years. Also, we have this kind of two big events every year. One is the September with the Mid-Autumn Festival, and also meet people from across, like a mooncake festival, a theater center that celebrate the Chinese culture, performance, getting to basically. Also not only Chinese American, actually, a lot of people also attended from different ethnic different groups, and also from different towns, and actually they English from Congo and the science from West Coast. And I'm a listener Fairfield for 22 years already, so in the rest of my kids, everything there, so it's quite not many. Just want to give this like the Chinese American and also the second also generation here, or also other Americans chance to see how what they moon festival. Actually, this festival it's kind of celebrated actually across the globe, right? That's also big celebration like in China and many Asian countries. It's like a very traditional celebration for many years across the globe.
Did you get the address?
I did not get the address.
I just sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
Which address?
Your home address.
My home address is 109 Oakside Drive.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Fairfield.
We approved this last year, didn't we? Yeah.
Was it on the Sherman Green last year?
No, actually, for the last 4 years, besides 2021, right? Every year that was on the Genius Beach.
Okay.
Talking about this year, we want to be in the town hall.
That's great.
Right.
One question, and I'm sorry if you mentioned this. Your application says number of participants 100, but spectators 200.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? What's going on? Are there
because this year
shows
we still don't know how many people want to really go there. By the way, we know at least 100 people, right? Because it's still people concerned about this COVID thing. But I think it's between 100 to 200. That's what our estimate.
Sometimes when we joined at the last minute, the Friday they just to register, so we didn't know. And every time we have this festival, it's very happy for like the local community. Like the last time I've been there, I meet Janice Beach, I meet the field senator, and they. I forget the name. The Bridgeport mayor. Yeah, all they come.
Yeah,
and some of the local news channel will be doing.
Yeah, actually, every time the city news term they report on. Actually, we all have a website, CAAPI.org.
We chose Fairfield. That's because Fairfield, this town is in the middle of this community, and then a lot of Chinese people just live around here, Stanford, Norwalk, and Westport, Fairfield, and also Trumbull, Easton, Weston, Wilton.
Yeah. And also a lot of things like a lot of we found a lot of like property share from Cameron and the part of the partner. Yes, kids really win like all of pretty much every year the project.
We want to keep this celebration because the second and the third generation, they didn't really know what's going on with the Chinese festival. Even like they only know that, okay, the Mid-Autumn Festival, we can eat mooncake, but it's not all. So this year we're going to have some Chinese traditional games. And I grew up with the games. And now my kids, they don't know. They don't know the games. They only know mooncake. They only know dumplings. They only know, okay, Chinese New Year, we eat dumplings. I said, no. It's not all of the celebration. We can have games, and we always have all family together. We get together, seems like Thanksgiving here. That's Mid-Autumn Festival means in China. That everyone gets together and everyone go back home to stay together. So we'd like to tell our second, third generation, our kids, what is Mid-Autumn Festival means. Not only mooncake.
Can you help me understand? So what is the Mid-Autumn Festival a celebration of?
The games?
What is the general celebration?
Okay, we're going to make the mooncake together. And then we're going to make some Chinese art together. Mm-hmm. In the like handcraft. And we'll make like I can't describe, but my mom always teach me how to make the handcraft with six together, mm-hmm. all family members, mm-hmm. and we make together and paint everything together.
Yeah, actually a lot of this is the performance shoot. Yeah.
And also we have some performance, the Chinese performance.
So it's a celebration of heritage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
When you held it on Jennings Beach, are these all the same additional permits that you had to get? So you've already had experience with getting those?
Yeah, we like the space time. So, yeah, we've been through four times already.
I didn't know if the change in location changed the type of permits you had to get, but I'm new to this.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either. But I don't know which of these permits that were identified here you're actually going to need, but you can coordinate with Kelly from the office, okay. And she's more expert on everything that you know. Yeah, we know that you need the insurance, mm-hmm. And you have it. Yeah, so I don't. Just coordinate with Kelly.
We have insurance with also police have police present in the last 4 years and they also with also to a different department.
Okay. Right.
So it looks like you're also going to, I don't know if this is the final special event application, but it looks like you need some signatures from risk management, the health department, the fire marshal, and the police on this application here.
Yeah, that's what we did in the last one.
Okay.
All right.
So that doesn't fall to us. I mean, we're not charged with making sure that part is done, right? That's that administrative piece.
No, but Kelly will let them know if, for example, the crowd control roadway use is a requirement.
Right. Okay.
Which I can't imagine that it is for the that hasn't come up before that I can recall, but for Sherman Green.
Okay.
So, okay. Anyone want to make a motion?
I will. I'll second.
Okay, very good. Any further questions, comments? Okay, since we're all involved, I'm not going to ask the public if they have any comments. So back to the commission. All those in favor? Okay.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Can we have some mooncakes at our next?
Yeah, you already coming.
I'm just looking at them now.
Let me see.
I've never heard of a moon cake.
Neither have I.
I'm from the South. All I know is moon pies.
Yeah.
I got a little
bit different. Yeah.
And RC Cola.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Jen. Board of Ed report.
Sure. So the
Should we record this?
So the racial imbalance plan is going to be voted on. It's an amendment to our already existing plan. So that will be, and if you've followed in the paper at all, this is getting some statewide attention, the situation that Fairfield is in.
Hold on 1 second so she can
Sure.
just take whatever notes. That's okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we don't,
Thank you.
yeah, good luck. Just so we don't miss anything again.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So the racial imbalance amendment to our existing plan, we will be voting on that in the next couple of weeks, probably at a special meeting. And that's just, it has a lot more meat to it because it has a lot more definitive dates to it. So that's something that will be coming up. And then our facilities committee is going to take lead on doing a close examination of where we are, where our population is, how the schools are utilized, and right now the draft of the plan has for a redistricting plan school-wide, K through 12 possibly, coming before the board for a vote in May of 2023. So that's how that is right now. The state has to take a look at it. I cannot imagine that they'll take issue with what we're doing because it is more aggressive than anything we've done in the past. So there's that. Also the superintendent search. We are hoping to wrap that up shortly, and then we will be announcing a new superintendent. And those are really, I have facilities written down here, but what I was not able to get for the meeting is just any kind of report on what the summer work was. You know, there had been some questions regarding the Ludlow concession stand and a few other facilities, but I was not able to get from Angela a report to bring to you, so I'll have that in September, just say how did our summer work go, kind of report, but that's about it.
So the racial imbalance plan, does that contain like a special school, a magnet school, or anything like that?
It once again contains the notion of taking a look at a possible dual language program, and just to see, but we're doing that. The state expressed interest in it. We've put it in there. We've had it in there in the past, but 2 iterations of surveys that have gone out show that people think some of these ideas are fascinating. Would they leave their school, their neighborhood school for them?
Right.
No, they will not. So, I mean, it would be a great attempt because there could be some really great programs that we could do, but it's just, they would cost money and it wouldn't achieve what they were put in there to achieve. If we pursue something like that, it'll be because of interest in the program itself, not because we see it as a solution to the state-identified racial imbalance issue.
It's still about McKinley, right?
Yes. Yes. Although I believe Holland Hill is also impending.
Yep.
So that means they're in the 15 to 24% range of racial imbalance.
I have a question. If you're presenting the plan in May, or you're voting on it in May?
So that's where you gotta be careful.
Okay.
The racial imbalance plan amendment is what we're voting on in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that then goes to the state to be satisfied or not. I believe it will satisfy them of, okay, Fairfield, we like your plan now, go to it.
Okay. And then when will it go into effect? What's the hope?
Well, it goes into effect immediately because all it is a state, all the racial imbalance plan is a statement of what we are now going to do to get this balance. So some of the things that we have already done, we've already gotten updated projections for enrollment, which is a critical, data point to look at in terms of where are the children, what's our current population. And so then between the likely hiring of a consultant to help put together plans as well as the work because the facilities committee, subcommittee of the board is entirely apart from racial imbalance. Mm-hmm. There may have been a redistricting on the horizon due to the over and underutilization of our buildings. We have some buildings that are extremely well used, above the percentage we would like, and then we have those which are very much underutilized, and we also have some significant maintenance issues that are coming up in some buildings. And before we do certain investments, all of this needs to, that's why we started a brand new facilities subcommittee. We've got, yes, there's racial imbalance, but there had been, even without that, the potential for a redistricting conversation due to this over and underutilization.
So by the start of next school year, 2023, kids could potentially be going to completely different schools.
We're looking at it would come into place in, I believe it was September of 2024.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, no grandfather situation.
We haven't had that discussion yet. So
you can tell I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I have a question because 10 plus years ago when the committee met, and then the solution was having kids from, I think, McKinley going to Burr was the option.
They had an option to opt out.
And so I guess they didn't take that then, right? Because that was supposed to help.
That had a negative impact.
Meaning what?
Because of busing?
No. Who wants to go from McKinley to Pitt?
Well,
that was the question then, but that was the solution was presented.
Those who took advantage of it did not.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Burr probably doesn't have people who speak Spanish and Portuguese.
They actually have a decent ELL population up at Burr. We'd also tried the preschool program of putting a preschool in. We tried a couple different locations for that, and the idea being that if you went to that preschool, even though it wasn't your neighborhood school, you then had the option of staying in that school population. And that also helped. I mean, we did have 1 year where we dropped below being in racial imbalance.
I think they still do that at UCC because I think they offered that to my son. He was at Stratfield, and we're Riverfield, but they gave us the opportunity for him to go to kindergarten there.
Okay.
Right. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had somebody in my son's class that was a different look. I can't remember where he lived.
Yeah.
That's right.
We've had a lot of iterations of the plan.
Yeah, well, that's
so fascinating.
Going back 20 years, thank you.
Yeah.
But are we giving it enough time for it to work? Like, because
but the state doesn't care. They're like, you have to do this now, right? Isn't that So
and now they are getting more impatient. And now some of the conversation is coming around to financial repercussions.
Yeah,
Yeah, and which we've been told for a number of times that would never be what was on the table. So we kept making genuine good faith efforts that just weren't panning out, but now the state is no longer.
Are they providing you any suggestions as how people have been successful with this type of rebalancing?
Nobody's been successful. The only thing that has ever worked is an involuntary redistricting.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where when we talk about magnet programs, I mean, Greenwich has funded they've got an IB school. They have done
great programs. Yeah.
For racial imbalance.
Yeah.
Done nothing.
Doesn't work.
Done nothing. So people like their neighborhood schools.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
One more question, then I'll stop. What constitutes a walker to school? Like how far of a distance?
It's different for the 3 different levels. So,
Okay.
Elementary school is 0.75.
Okay.
Middle school is I believe it's 1 mile.
Okay.
And high school, I think it's 1.5 miles, but
Okay.
it's in policy. I would just have to look
Okay,
that up.
I'll take a look.
So I can't promise that being a walker saves anybody, because it doesn't.
But if you can hear the bell from your house.
I think that's a decent. I think that's a pretty decent save there, but don't quote me.
I remember the last. I don't know if it was the last one, but years ago when my kids were redistricted, and at one point they put up the districts on the board, and they showed the population here, the schools here, and there were a lot of districts where it looped just above the school. So if you were a walker,
Yeah.
but you were north of the school, you were still, now you became the furthest south of the next school. So,
Right.
and I'm sure a lot of those people heard the bells from the school.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and you look at certain schools like Stratfield and Jennings, and right up there on Fairfield Woods Road,
Yeah.
and I'm not positive of this, but some of them could be darn close to being a walker to either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's, and then if you go to Jennings, you go to Fairfield Woods Middle School. You go to Stratfield,
Tomlinson.
So it's...
And that's about a lot of kids that go into the woods making friends and then have to split.
Mm-hmm.
And then their friends are over at Ludlow or Ward, and now they're rivals. It's not good on the kids. My daughter the other day was still upset about she had to lose half her friends.
Yeah, unfortunately, we always have to split one because we have 3 middle schools, so that always happens.
They're all good schools, though.
My son
They really
finished
are.
it at Burr, and our entire neighborhood was removed from all the others. There was, I think, 5 kids who ended up going. He was in Osborne Hill. Our neighborhood went after that to Burr, but he was going to middle school. He was completely separated from everyone in his class except for 4 other kids.
Okay.
He did just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are pretty darn resilient.
Yeah,
really
I don't know. I just hear that they complain.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
They all complain, but it takes a little while, and you get over it.
Can I ask one other question?
Sure.
What are the biggest holes for us in terms of maintenance? So you mentioned that we have a lot of issues on our hand. What are some of the bigger ones?
The one thing we're waiting to get back is we had that whole, and I'm going to call it the wrong name, so it's not called this, but we had we paid to have a consultant come in and examine all of our HVAC issues. Because after all, what's one of the biggest things to come out of COVID is really examining the ventilation system in the buildings.
We had mold issues back in the day.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that because that's not going to happen. But that is a report. Talk about a facility issue. That is going to be huge. We have not gotten a presentation on that report yet. When we do, I don't know what we're going to hear. I heard one rumor about it, and I don't want to repeat it because I don't know if it's true. I just know we're not going to like what we hear. But, obviously we still have the issue of some schools air conditioned and others are not, and that affects all sorts of things that we can do with the buildings. So that is significant. Roofing, I think we've been pretty good about taking care of any issues that come up with roofing. Obviously, we will find out August 30th what of the summer work actually got done. I was just trying to get a preview of it ahead of time and wasn't able to do that for today. So I don't know if there's something significant that's outstanding. I know that the purchasing has, I believe, gone ahead with the Ludlow scoreboard. So that is hopefully going to be set to go. So that would be a town facility issue as well. If there's something...
Dwight's an issue, right?
Dwight is a very significant issue.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Extremely.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
I believe the number in our waterfall projection.
36 million. Higher.
Yeah.
For HVAC or renovation?
Renovation.
Yeah.
So that is going to be something the facility subcommittee is going to have a serious discussion about.
Thank Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for serving, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure, truly.
Is it?
For now, yeah.
Nobody likes you.
Summertime's quiet.
So last up, everyone has a director's report from Anthony, and a few items were approved since our last meeting. The International Overdose Awareness Vigil, Pink Pledge Kickoff, 39th Annual Plant Sale, Rosh Hashanah services, and finally, a memorial bench was approved without wasting our time.
Nice.
So, yes, very nice. So, and that is it, unless anyone has anything for the good of the order. All right, hearing none, we are adjourned.